Yo, what up? Y'all ready for another Wild Out Wednesday?
Yes, sir.
What's
All
going
right,
on?
well, what's happening, Gail? You good over there?
I'm good.
Gail and
Still,
Dennis, you good this evening? All
yes, sir.
right, well, you guys, I just want to get you guys into this one. We got a real nice show for y'all tonight. We're bringing up some of that old school blood and bringing that back right into the forefront. We got Mr. Levi, who's the owner, creator of Silent Creeper American Bulldog. So you guys give it up for Mr. Levi tonight.
All right, all
Okay,
right.
Mr. Levi.
Everybody,
Yes.
So,
how you
Mr.
Good
doing?
evening,
Levi,
good evening, Mr. Levi.
we good. How
Good
you doing
evening.
tonight, man?
Man, I can't complain, man. One day at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my
You know,
favorite.
um,
That's one of my favorite phrases.
Before we get
That,
started, man, I want to give my flowers to you, Mr. Levi. We met. We didn't really know each other. We met on I did a couple transports for you,
Yes, sir.
and what really, where I really got my appreciation to you as a person, breathe it to the side. We're just gonna put that all the way to the side. You as
Yes,
a
sir.
person, I brought you some dogs that were very, like, in my opinion, were very lackluster as far as their health and everything. But man, when I've watched what you put into the dogs, the nutrition, the care, and the love,
Yes,
that's
sir.
where I truly saw the solitude and respect of what you are as a breeder and a man. That's where I gained my respect
I appreciate that,
because
Mr. Ernest.
I brought you some dogs. I'm like, hey, yo, what are you doing with this? You even said to me, you said, Mr. Ernest, man, you ain't seeing what I'm seeing. You ain't seeing it. And
Yep,
then
yep.
it'll be some months later. I'm like, what dog is that? He's like, oh, Mr. Ernest, is the
See,
one you brought to me. I'm like, you kidding?
yeah, that's
So
that food and water.
that for water. What's
Yeah,
up,
food
Mr.
and water.
Martin? Well, Mr. Levi, when we get started, let us know about you, your background, where you come from, what dogs you started with, and how you got into
All
this
right.
whole thing.
Okay, cool beans, man. I'm out of Pleasant Grove, Dallas. Been there all my life. And more or less, I kind of got started, man, with one of my friends, Craig. Craig used to have an American Bulldog, and one day I was kind of working with the pit bulls, and I had Rottweilers and all this good stuff. I went over to Craig's house and actually saw a bulldog, and man, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And he was telling me he was going to go out to Trails American Bulldog kennels the weekend, the following weekend, and I wanted to ride along. So I went out there with him. Uh, went to Trails American Bulldog out in well, I can't think exactly what part of town it was in, but we went out there. I can't think of where it was from, but we went out to his house, man, and I saw a whole yard full of bulldogs. T-Bone the Beefmaster, Bad Bad Leroy Brown. These are all old school dogs,
These are
and I
old
tell
school
you, these
names you're
dogs.
saying right now.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, T-Bone was out of Gator Red. Yeah, that's kind of how back it went. And so
Oh,
I don't know, man. It was some nice dogs, and he had a little female for sale. And I asked him how much he wanted for him, and he was like, "Oh, I'll take this." And I'm like, "Shoot, man, I got that in my pocket." So I hurry up and bought the little dog. I call her Kilola. So I bought Kilola, and then before I left, he was like, "Hey, Levi, let me show you something." He went out to the shed, and he came back with another little puppy, a little brindle dog, and I love that puppy. He was beautiful. He was 3 weeks old. And I asked him what he wanted for him. And I had half that in my pocket. So I gave him half. And then my friend was going out there a few weeks later to pick up his dog. And so I just, told him, hey, I'll send my friend with the money because I always work. And so I hardly have a chance to break away. So I had my friend to pick the dog up for me. I gave him the money. And he went out there and picked my dog up. So I ended up with Kilola and Kahil. And those two dogs, man, when I tell you, I was so proud of them. I was outside every night training them. I had them sit, stay, doing sign language the whole 9 yards.
nice.
I used to hang out with my buddy back in the day, old Winston Flood. I got to give it up to True Blood. He deceased
Oh,
now,
that's
man.
the name I ain't heard for a minute.
Yep, that's old Flood, man. I call him Flood. We
Well,
grew up together.
Floyd was
Yep,
Floyd, yeah. Like
Flood. Yep.
he had a
Winston.
Diablo. What else he had? He had that black dog with the bicolored eyes.
Now, see, Flood had a lot of different dogs. See, I brought him into the game. And then once he got in, he started doing his own thing. And man, the thing about Bulldogs back in those days, and I don't know, it might still be like that now. I've learned to let people do their own thing. You can bring somebody in and you can call yourself being a partner, but at some point, people are going to get creative. They're going to be their own chefs to a certain
Yep.
extent. I tell a lot of people that, when we creating our dogs on our yard, we are like the chefs in our kitchen. Everybody has a different recipe. We might all cook lasagna, but each one of us might cook it differently. But I
Yep.
guarantee you, we got a fan of people that like what we cook. So that's just how
Right.
it is with dogs, man. You're gonna create stuff, somebody gonna like it. Now I'm kind of going towards a certain way, but I don't hate on what other people do. If you like your dog short, if you like this, that, and the other, if you like some on my yard that breed into your dog that help you out, I'm good with that. Now that don't mean that I want it on my yard because I'm focused on what I'm trying to do.
True.
Respect. Respect.
So it
Yep.
is what it
You know,
That's
is.
right.
like where you say that right there. Like I don't know if anybody really understands this platform between me, this and Gam. Like when you say
Mhm.
we all cook lasagna, but we all got our own recipe.
We
Well,
all
we all
got
like
our
I
own
said,
recipe.
without just speaking with Dennis, like we all have the same blood. Well, it's our
Mhm.
foundation blood, but we all gonna go
Uh,
somewhere else and do something different.
most
That's
definitely.
one thing that like Dennis got his thing that he's building. I might bring a little bit of that in. Gam got his thing that he's breeding. I don't know. I'm fuck with Gam like that. I'm lying. Gam, my boy. I need that baby diesel in my life, boy. Look, that's a
Let's
sweetness.
go.
Yeah.
But like that boy Dick, like for real. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, don't sleep on that boy Gam over there. That boy baby diesel. That's work over there. Because you look at
All
Diesel
right.
and stuff, and you look at baby Diesel. Oh, that's a
All
Geno
right.
Fino replica, just a red patch, a bigger red patch. But
All
that's the
right.
thing. People don't realize, like, we're a teamwork unit, but yet we still doing our own thing at the same time, and we
And
support each other. That's not, you don't get that a lot in this community.
and that's important to allow your partners to do what they want to do. So I don't mind teaming up with people, but I do encourage independency because it's going to happen. So if you try to keep stuff locked in, it's going to be problematic.
True.
I used to always say, we can get along good and make great deals, but stuff hit the fans when the puppy hit the floor.
Yeah.
We might agree on, hey man, I'll give you two puppies for this breeding. Oh, cool. Shake hands on it. Then when the puppies get here, well, man, I got somebody really looking at that dog. Wait, hold on. So, it's just little small things, man, will cause confusion, and you have to be careful. How you do your business, and just how you do your business.
True that. And
So,
that's why I always be transparent with each other. Think
And that's
that
good.
yeah, that goes a long way. Just with these gentlemen with Ernest and Gabriel, I'm
Mhm.
transparent with them and and
Okay.
like I tell them, hey, you're your own identity. I'm my own identity.
All right.
Um, so what you do, it reflects on you.
All
But
right.
always consequences. If you do something wrong, consequences. Hey, man up
It
and
is what it
take them
is.
like they are. Yeah,
yeah.
But see, it seems like when you got a group of young men like yourselves, y'all young men, and just stay young men about how you do your business. That way, it just keeps confusions down.
true.
Everybody just
Yep.
respect each other and just hold your word. I've had my fair shares of little falling outs and stuff, man. Some of it not my fault, but it is what it is. I eat it. I feel like I'm a big guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
things is, man, no matter what we go through, man, ain't nothing really gonna break you. It's your mindset.
True.
If you're cool with being by yourself, and see, that's the main thing about it. Be comfortable, man. Be comfortable with just doing you. I ain't got to have no friends. I got my support staff within my home. That's basically all I need. It's cool to talk to some people from time to time. Don't get me wrong, but when it all boils down to it, man, just be your own independent man.
Yep.
And you're right on that. Like, where us as a group, we do our own thing. But yeah, I say for one, number one thing is, like I said this before in the earlier podcast, when you're dealing with people, don't be dealing with people that are just yes, they're like, yeah, do
All
this,
right,
yeah, do that. Because,
right,
I'll be honest with you, like, I just talked to Dennis about something I did, and I'm happy because I learned from it. But
right.
I went to Dennis, and Dennis was like, "Hey, this is where I think this went wrong. Why don't you not do this time? Why don't you try this the next time?" Because we're supportive of each other, but we gonna let you know, like,
All
we're
right.
gonna critique each other. But there's a lot of people out here that can't take constructive
All right.
criticism. That they get upset and they get in their feelings, and that's what the world is like. The whole world's timid when
All right.
everybody's realizing that constructive
All right.
criticism is helping pushing you forward. Nobody's like,
There you go.
oh, you don't like what I'm doing. No, I don't like it because I don't like it for you because I know what you trying to do, and
All
people
right.
can't even take that. So, Mr. Levi, with that being said, who are your motivators into this game? Whenever you got into it, like what bloodlines were your go-to when you started it?
Well, man, I don't know if it was particularly too many bloodlines. Well, it was certain bloodlines, but I guess particular dogs. I was a real fan of the Tyson line. I love the Mufasa stuff. Uh, I love the daily line. That was really big to me, because I've seen so many decent dogs come up out of that particular bloodline. So to me, that's just a recipe that always tend to work, especially with what I feel like I'm capable of putting together. It's my to go to. And I love the Johnson line. I bought some dogs from Dixie Luckman. I was real happy with what I purchased from her. I feel like when you're dealing with dogs, man, sometimes that Johnson is such a necessity. But the fear factor for some of your classic breeders or your hybrid breeders, what we used to call them back in the day. When I say hybrid, I'm still talking about just within the bulldogs. Nothing adding different breeds or anything like that. It's just strictly bulldogs.
Yeah, yeah.
But the high stuff, man, it's always good, in my opinion, to add that Johnson back in there. 'Cause sometimes you get the breed tight, you start losing size. You start getting, just different things happen. And I think that bigger Johnson blood come in and just refresh things. And I've always seen better dogs come out of that. Back in the day, it used to look like a lot of people when they did their breedings, it's like they always use that outcross on the Johnson to kind of put that refresh back in there. The Johnson, in my opinion, they do a really good job of policing their line. You'll have 5 or 6 people jump out there real quick and quote you up on that's not a Johnson dog. Where your pedigree, the whole nine
Yeah.
yards. I wish we had a little bit more of that back in my day, or in the part that I like, the classic type. I wish it was a lot more of that, because people are gonna be people. People are gonna do things, and they're gonna keep it pushing.
No, no, for sure. Um, and Mr. Levi, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
With with the Johnson dogs, I know they have a lot of legs underneath them.
They
Um,
do.
how's how's the temperament?
Well, I think the temperament is pretty decent with the dogs. I have some 100% Johnson dogs, and I love their temperament. But being a hybrid classic breeder type of guy, I take that mindset going into the Johnson dogs. So when I purchased my dogs out, I wanted more of the bully type. I was familiar with bloodlines I've used in the past was like
Okay.
Allen Machine. Allen Machine Kennels was one of them. Um, a lot of those guys had some of that old bully style that I like, and they just kind of kept breeding within the yard, within your yard. So Ben Allen had a lot of nice stuff that I liked it. So I kind of gravitated towards that. I went to Dixie Luckman, gravitated towards that. I used to conversate a lot with a young man named Mark Young, the Young American Bulldogs. He was very pivotal in my early days of coming back into the breed about the
Yeah.
Johnson line, because man, that dude could tell you pedigrees left and right. You could show them a picture and say, "Hey, man, this is the kind of dog I'm looking for." Oh, so and so got that particular dog. Oh, you need to call Garrett Smith.
Mhm.
And sure enough, I called Garrett, get to looking at his dogs, and it ended up being something that I felt like I can use. And so,
Nice.
it's just picking the right dogs. And I like to take a bully Johnson dog, get it to another bully style. A lot of times when people have their bully dogs, they don't want to mix the different lines. You might have Johnson. Somebody else might have something. Oh, I don't want to mess with his line. Well, they all come from the same. I don't have no
Yeah.
dog in the fight, so I'll take these two different dogs, put them together, and I'll move on. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take these different bloods, put them together, see if I can come up with a bullier style of dog. And the answer for me for my program is to take a bully style Johnson dog. I want to create something that I can put into my classic side and don't lose no heads. Because
Well,
sometimes when you breed those Johnson, you might come out with 6 or 7 different types. You might have a bully, you might have a standard up in that mug,
Yeah.
you might have a beagle up in that mug. I mean, it's just too many different styles. So if you can condense
well,
that down, and no offense to the Johnson people, don't get me wrong, but it is what it is. But if you can condense that down to a nice bully style dog, and people feel comfortable in using that, it's a win,
Yeah.
in
well,
my
when
opinion.
so here, let me drop back a little bit. Like when we're talking about like their temperament, like how is their
Okay.
actions? Are they, which I'm pretty sure because I've been around your
Well,
dogs. I've been around your dogs. When we're talking about their temperament, how balanced are they as far as like control wise? Are they heavily aggressiveness? Can they be around family members? Like, what are those things right there you're looking for?
Well,
And then when it comes to
I
the
like
Johnson, do they have that?
I think the Johnsons do have it, and a lot of it, in my opinion, is that it depends on how you train your dog. If you're spending time with your dog and it's, and training your dog will kind of blend in. I haven't had problems with my Johnson dogs. Now, I don't do any protection work or anything like that because I lost my grandchild a little while ago, but I had kids in my home, and so it's
Sorry about
just
your loss, Mr.
all
Levi.
the adjective. Sorry, thanks, sir. I appreciate that. I think that with having an aggressive dog, that's not something that I'm training for. Now, me and my wife in the process of trying to get moved, and once I get me some land, get me about 2 or 3 acres, then my ideas on that may change. Mr. Ernest, I might have to hit you up and get some points on some aggressiveness at that point. But I think my dogs,
Well,
as the
let's,
Johnson, I think they have it in them. They have it in them to get it. It's there. It's just that I don't really push that from them.
Yeah.
let's dial that word right there. That the word right there when you say aggressiveness, let's dial that. Let's exit
Hmm.
that word because there's no aggression in none
Okay.
of my dogs. Like it's protective
Okay.
because aggression,
All right.
I can let all my dogs out and they can hang out with each other 24/7. Aggression is where they
Hmm.
will go at each other and try to fight each other. This and the third. That's aggression. Now,
Gotcha.
do they have a
I got
man threat and a protective nature? My dogs are protective. There's no aggression in here. So I do believe that where you are is with your dogs, and then even these breeds of American Bulldog, if it's in the blood,
you.
it's going to be in the genetic.
It's
And
in
I
there.
think any dog can be taught anything, just like any kid can be taught how to play a sport and this, that, and the third. But I'm
I
going to
get you.
say that, even like because Mr. Levi, I'm gonna be honest, ain't nobody gonna walk up to your house.
Right?
Like nobody's
No, it
gonna
might
walk
have
up to
some
your house.
problems.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
because
might have some problems. I have a couple.
for one, it's your life. For one, ain't nobody gonna walk up to your house because of what you do for a living.
Yes, sir. That's number
That's
one.
one thing.
But
But then number two,
I do have some dogs out there that'll probably get active. I haven't tested that theory. But all they have to do
well,
for us
I can
is
tell you this.
let
I've
us
rode with.
know what's
I can
happening.
tell you this.
Yes, sir.
I've rode with. But if there's a moment, so
Right.
if my dog, if my protection dog started wild, remember me calling you and saying, "Hey, your dog is right in soup
Hmm.
with this dog." So I think if
All right.
anything was to act out, like you just never had to put your dogs in the house. So I really truly
Right. That's
believe that
correct.
it's there, and it's I've seen it in the Johnson dog, and I've seen it in a few of your dogs that I've trained. Your dogs have
Okay.
never had to be in that
Well,
situation that let that be known to you.
well,
So I'll tell you, like
and
you may not know.
that's something that I kind of work on not having them in that particular situation. As long as they protect my yard, as long as they bark and let us know what's going on, I'm really good with that. Once I
And
get
that's
out
that.
away from the city, once I get out away from the city, then different ball game. But here in the city, where I really keep my dogs under wrap, but I would hate for a dog with some training on to get out and cause a problem. So right now, for me, it's just safer for me not to have that part in my dogs right now. But I'm sure it's
Well,
there. If you mess with them good enough, it'll get what they pass. They'll do what
I
they're
was just
supposed to
say,
do.
Oh
like I'll
yeah.
tell you this, like for one, it's there. Trust me, it's there. Like because I've
Okay.
seen it in. It was two of your dogs I was transporting. I've seen it in there
Okay.
while I'm on the road. So it's instinctively there. That's what I love about the American Bulldog as well as the Boer and the oldie as well. Even though you don't have to train the dog for it to happen, but I'll tell you, unconditional love. It's just
Hmm.
like having that one homeboy. It's gonna be there. It's always gonna ride with you. It's always gonna be there. Your dogs will
Right.
do it. You just
Right.
then I'll tell you, like where you just said I hate for a dog with the training to get out and do it. Nah, man, just hate for your dogs to have to get out because
Doing it.
Yeah,
you're
but to that point, you know me, I always gotta rain on the
here you go
parade.
again.
Hey, nah, but to that point, like I don't think all dogs, you could line them up and yeah, the breed, but there is some dogs that are more driving than others. There is some dogs that are gonna get
There
after
is.
it. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
sit here and say that yeah, you line up 100 American Bulldogs from wherever, and they're all gonna. We know that's
oh
not
no,
happening.
never, never, no. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
so
it's in
and
every
some
dog. No,
yeah, some are different. They're a little bit, more than others. So Yeah,
Yeah.
that and some people
Hmm.
so I could see where that is like maybe not aggression, but the driviness, right? And some people don't want that in their dogs, right? And I've seen that. And there's been some dogs where maybe somebody and I went on the show and I said that like, hey, maybe this is for somebody. And they say, oh, this is what I want, in my program. But for me,
All right.
like with small kids,
Mhm.
that's not what I want, right? Like maybe some of the prey drive
Right.
is not going to work, in my area. And me, we all know I have little babies. I have older kids too,
Yeah.
teenagers. So it wouldn't work. And, for most people. And then if I'm selling most of them to pet homes and families, probably some of the prey
Right.
drive is not really, real, we're not going to be so big on that. Right. But there is dogs or certain pairings and we could kind of advertise, towards that. And I think probably the people on the outside, right, they
Right.
see it like, oh, I think this is going to be more to my life or, to this person's life. But, that's what I think, in the big like world of things, they all fall into kind of like a, certain categories.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you know what?
I
With
think
these
as long
dogs,
as they
though,
have good drive,
go ahead, Mr. Levi.
go
Wilmer,
ahead, sir.
son, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, with good drive, and I think that my dogs have tons of drive in them. You can just about, point them in any direction. It's just a lot of it is just, putting the time and the training involved.
True. And then plus with this breed, their instinct to protect their family is always there.
Boom.
Yeah.
And
Got that.
I speak
I
for
got
my
that.
Yeah.
dogs. Like they're here, if they feel a threat, they're gonna react to it. I could have anybody over as long as I'm with them, my dogs are fine. But if you try to put hands on
Right.
me, I'll make sure my pack is gonna jump too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like that, like literally on that same, like, where, again, when I'm not gonna, I love how me and Gam go back and forth all day. Um, Prey drive
Mhm.
is one thing. Like, prey drive is one thing. All these dogs, I believe not every last one of them is gonna have a high prey drive. Not all of them are even gonna have it. But all my dogs, I can pull every last one of them. They all have it. They have that prey and their
Yeah.
instinctiveness, but yet at the same time, it's that control. Like right there, exactly what I was about to say. A confident dog. It's not the prey, it's the confident dog. Once the dog is
Right.
confident, then it's never going to be, it's easier to control a confident dog than it is a non confident. There's no, if I have a dog that's
Agreed.
not confident, because that non confident dog is going to be that one that's literally acting out against the pack. You can't, it's literally going as aggressive. You can't control it in any other way because it's not confident enough
Hmm.
within itself to know what it needs and has. And Mr. Levi, I think there's a lot of dogs I brought to you that have a good little stack of confidence. Because I even watch you with your videos and yourself and your dogs, and they're sitting there and you're with the protocol. But yet at the same time, they've been around kids.
Right.
They're around your granddaughter,
Right.
and it's still, again, I think you have a solid family dog in your yard.
Well,
oh
they
yeah,
decent,
definitely.
man. I can't shoot nothing at them, but I think the thing of it is that they're gonna have stuff in them. It's just right now I'm just not trying to wake a lot of stuff up, because of my particular situation. I'm
Correct.
kind of catering to something different
Correct.
right now, but I believe it's there, and I think that if someone got a puppy and they want to go in a different direction, want to get into some training, I think it's in them to do what they're gonna do. But like I say, on my yard here, I do have a couple of them that are act up, but that's not what I'm into right now. They're
Well,
gonna be
since
dogs.
we're
They kind
on,
of doing their thing.
since we're on the subject
What's
of
that?
puppies and everything, since we're on the subject of
Hmm.
puppies, you got anything lined up? Anything coming up? Anything you want to let the world know that you got going?
Well, I did a breeding. It's an old school breeding, but I like to call it old school breeding. I bred for Nunio, with my female. I call her the Red. So the Red, she's more of a red brindle type little female. So when I get out there in the sun, I get to looking at her, man. It's just unbelievable of the Red. So that's her name, the Red, and that's for
So you
Nunio.
can see
For
this.
Nunio,
This is scenario. What's his
that's for
background?
Nunio.
What's his?
He's an old school daily dog. I ended up getting him from Mr. James. He had Fernando, and he had two other females. So I bought one male and two females from him. I bought him at a year old. Fernando came here. He had a damaged eye because he got into a yard fight, and I guess two or three other dogs jumped on him, and he almost lost his eye. So when I got him, I kind of worked on him and tried to save that eye, and he got a little gloss over it, but his eye is still there. Other than that, man, I just kind of filled him out. He turned out to be a really great dog, really, really great dog.
You
He
say
looks
he's
This is
good.
the female.
yeah.
Uh, Yep, that is the female. That's the red. Now I bought a female from Big Lou. Her name was Triple K's Phoebe, and so I bought Triple K Phoebe, and I bred her to Fernando, and came up with that female right there. I
Oh,
really liked the way she turned out, and I wanted to try to keep the blood kind of tight. So I ended up taking her back to father, and Fernando is her father. So, on these puppies, man, I had nine puppies. I ended up with seven at the end of the day, and six of them, most of six of them are almost solid white out of the litter, and all of them turned out to be girl. I got one boy and five girls out of that. They turned out pretty decent,
Ah,
so I kind of like
nice.
that old school daily stuff because it sets me
yeah,
up to do other things in the future.
Oh,
Now,
No, that's a good
this
and
puppy.
puppy here, this comes
yeah,
out of
yeah.
another litter that I had. Yeah, that's where I had a 50-50. I had a half Daily, half Johnson, bred to 100% Johnson male, and came up with those pups there. And that little
nice.
puppy, his name was Zero, and Zero turned out
Oh,
pretty
I
nice.
remember that. I remember that. He was all you named him Zero because he had no coloration
Yes, sir.
whatsoever.
No
You did a
color,
video of
no
them
color.
like
I think,
inside the I think it was inside their kennel that you had him in.
yes, sir. Yeah,
So
I think he's gonna
hey,
be a really nice dog.
so let's I wanna introduce the public to whenever you said triple K. The
Okay.
triple K line. Where
hmm
are you familiar where they started from? The triple K lines and things like that?
Well, Big Lou. Big Lou is his name. Big Lou purchased dogs from however he got his dog. He ended up doing business with David. So he ended up with a lot of David dogs. And once he got his selection, he even went back and did a couple of breedings with Daily. Like he had his own female, bred it to one of his male, and came up with some nice dogs. So Big Lou, he just kept it strictly Daily. He had a whole family of dogs of his own, kind of kept breeding them and just did his own thing. Daily is Daily dogs. He got them, but Big Blue had his own line going on with that as well. So I
So
like Big Blue was doing over there on his yard, so I favor to that a little bit.
so what is it about the triple K and the daily dogs that you like more than because I hear you keep saying, triple K daily, triple K daily. What is it about
Well,
those lines
it's in a way, it's about one and the same because, like I say, it all comes from daily. So I keep it just straight with, it is daily dog, but I bought some dogs that came down from what Triple K was doing. And what I like about the daily dogs, man, is back in the day, man, Daily was kicking ass. I don't care what you say. He was the good confirmation, excellent puppies. And then when you take those and cross them to dogs like Foss and Tyson, it just seemed like it just produced really nice dogs. Now, the daily dogs come from Johnson dogs, so it's really pulling back towards the Johnson line. So when you pull that in, it was just a great blend. And I can't really
so
particularly tell you exactly what it is.
Cool.
Just my experience from seeing different dogs play. See that right there? That's Red Bull. Red Bull's
yeah,
nice. That was one of Big Lou's dogs.
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was a super nice dog. Now, I ain't gonna put that man business out there, but that's a dog and a half.
You see
It's
him,
here,
Mr.
and
Levi?
I like different dogs. Yeah, I like different dogs, man, because like it was so important to me that if you guys do your breedings and you produce really nice dogs, man, really consider saving some of your semen because right now it might not be a big deal, but 10 years from now, you might have condensed down or you might still be pulling strong. It's going to be some new person come in here that's going to probably like what you have. They're going to want to kind of reach back because sometimes what we've learned in the Bulldogs of today is people do their own things. They add their own mixture and things aren't quite the same. So what I like to do is be able to take things back. And it's like, what would you do if you had the Tyson blood all over again in today's time? It's
Yeah.
like taking that old stuff and kind of matching it with, you might have something that you produced that has your name on it, and you think that your dog might go good with that Tyson blood, or it may go good with the Mufasa stuff. So that's why I'm kind of into. I like the old stuff, and I want to try to bring that back and give people options to try to do it again. So, that's
What
kind of
you-
my
what
thought
did you
process.
say to me? What did you say to me the other night? You said get a second chance with the things that we lost.
Second chance, man. Yeah, second chance.
Yeah,
'Cause, sometimes, man, we all mess up. We all make mistakes. But if we can go back and do it again, and that's where I feel like with preserving semens, it kind of takes you back. So let's say someone decided they want to go get Tyson semen, and they actually successfully do the breeding because it is a process and a half to be able to do these breeding and end up with puppies. That's a likelihood that you won't, but sometimes you get blessed by the forces and you have a little puppy. So if you can bring back some Tyson kids today, man, that's a big deal to me. And it's
yeah.
some people out there that still feel like, hey, man, I would take one of those and I would try to run and see what they could do with it because those dogs were just made different back then.
I agree. I
And it's
think they
probably a
were
lot of
made.
people was they was different.
Repeat that. I agree with you. I think the
It was
dogs
different.
back in the day are a lot different than the dogs. They,
Hmm.
I think for me, the drive was a lot different. Even the confidence level of the
Yes,
dogs
sir.
back then was way different. And even the way they bred, the way they were litters, there were this is far between like what they are today. Today, I think they were just a little bit too much baby, in my opinion. Because I grew up in an era where
Okay.
the dogs did their thing and we let them up the litters and we just came and checked them. And even at the same time, it was, we
Right.
didn't really have to do much about training a dog to do its job. We did have to do it for its herding and
Yep.
everything else like that. But as far as protecting the livestock and everything else like that, it was natural. Those instincts
Mm.
don't exist, in my opinion, for the dogs of today. And me
Okay.
personally, that's what I'm trying to go for.
You know.
But you,
Yeah.
so do you have anything? I don't want to put it all out there because you already saw me do this. Because
Well, see,
you guys, if y'all don't know,
this,
Mr. Levi, just go
yeah,
all
this,
for it. Don't worry about Ernest.
Yeah.
no, it's
Ernest
all
gonna
good,
tell
man.
it.
See,
Ernest gonna tell anyway.
see the thing, yeah,
oh,
it's all good, man. Like
Ernest gonna
me
tell anyway.
personally, myself, you know, I'm trying to work up to a certain point. I like my daily dogs, so I'm doing that because I plan on doing a breeding with Thompson Caesar. Thompson Caesar is a son of Mufasa from Keelan Red. So I want to
Nice.
try to put my daily female, the red, because see that's the whole thing. I made some mistakes. Oh, sometimes man, education is expensive. I'm gonna tell you that
Yeah.
now. I did a breeding, a couple of breedings. I bought dogs from individuals, and I was like, hey man, I want to buy this particular dog because I want to do this dead dog breed, and all systems was go. And then when I got the females, man, and actually spent the bread, bought the semen, and then end up putting it into my female and trying to wait on getting some puppies, nothing happened one
Hmm.
time. Then I end up doing it again. So the problem that I find myself with is that I was moving too fast. I had been out of the breed for about 12 years, and when I came back, I was hot hands. Once I made my mind up that I was coming back in, I'm coming in. I figured I'm come in, kick some tail, and take some names. And
Yeah.
time to show you something. Yeah, time to show you something. So it made me slow down. So now I'm creating my own dogs. I'm waiting to breed them at home first, then I'll put out some puppies, and then once I prove that female, then I feel like I can, once I know she's a good mama, I can kind of trust that going to do a dead dog breeding. Because them dead
Yeah.
dogs, man, they
Yeah.
gonna cost you 2, 3, 4 grand. Then you're gonna spend about 2 or 3 trying to get everything put into play, depending on where you go.
True.
Each area is going to be, have a different price set. Out here is high as giraffe coochie. So just depends on how you want to do things. So I plan on breeding the red to Thompson Caesar, but I do have Thompson's Kyoga as well. Now I like Kyoga. Kyoga was a well-bred dog coming down off a lot of that Tyson stuff. I thought about putting him to my Johnson dog. So my thing is I'm gonna try to put something to the daily dog, and then I'm gonna try to also use the Johnson dogs as well, and then I'll create my own family of dogs that I can kind of do my line breedings with and kind of go from there.
Nice. Nice. Hey, that's a hell of a plan. I,
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
long
a joke
term
so
though.
here on your page, Mr. Levi, that man, let me see if I find him. But I wanted to know a little bit about him, man. He caught my eye,
Okay.
and I was like, you could tell he's an old school Johnson dog. Here, I just found him right here, right here.
Oh,
Can you see him, Mister Levi?
No, sir.
Okay, let me try something.
Oh man, that was Quaku. Yeah, that was Quaku. Quaku was 100% Johnson dog.
you just recently
Yeah,
had
I
him,
bought him
correct?
from. Yes, yes, correct. I bought him from Garrett Smith. Bought him as a puppy and grew him out. And I like Quaku. Quaku was a great dog, and I have his daughters and sons here, and I'm just kind of adding them into the program. He's a key part. What I was telling you about trying to create that bullier side. I took
Yeah,
him to a Allen machine dog, and Allen dogs, man. I think Allen is underrated with some of his dogs, but he has really good bloodline in those dogs. You take them two and put them together, I think I'm gonna eventually be all right. Like I said, I'm really trying to create that Johnson with that bully swing to it that I can
yeah,
add to my program without losing head factors. That's a real big concern sometimes with using the Johnson dogs. It might make your snouts too long, this, that, and the other. But if you're kind of breeding for the consistency of the bully type, I think it'll be all right.
yeah.
So,
Here's
what
That's
did
only
you
my opinion.
go ahead, then?
no, no, because here's another dog too.
Oh, nice.
This is a male, right? Not a female.
Mm,
Let me see.
yep,
Let's see.
that's young man. Yeah, that's young mine. Son is 100% Johnson dog. He comes off of dog I bought. His name was Lefty from Allen Machine Kennels, but I called him Musa. So it's Silent Creeper Musa bred to Lalada. Lalada's Colette, Johnson Colette 777, aka Lalada. But I bought her from Johnson Kennels and put them two together. And man, they really produced a nice dog. Now he's solid white, but he had a real seriously blue ear when he was a puppy. He was blue ear and blue eyes. As he's gotten older now, his eyes are in his ear. They still the same color, but it's kind of more of a fawn color. So it kind of changes throughout the year. But he's gonna be one of the dogs, man, that I'm gonna be moving around here pretty soon because me myself with dogs, I hold on to them for a little bit, and then I'll more or less sell off my big dog, and then I'll turn around and keep a puppy. And I know a lot of people like, man, should you wait till your puppy's mature and this and that? I got confidence in what I'm doing. I'm gonna
There you
add food
go.
and water,
There
and I'm
you
gonna wait
go.
it out because I'm pretty sure they're gonna be what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's something I was telling Dennis the other day. Was it either the other day or today? Because with the litter that you and I have been talking about, like I was talking to
Yes,
Dennis, and
sir.
I was like, yo, I got to pick my puppy by this time. Mr. Levi was like, I don't care. These are my dogs. I hold the dogs.
Yeah,
These jumping stuff. He's like three dogs. I don't care. I'm like, hey,
yeah, yeah,
cool. Then I can pick my
yeah.
dog in 7.5, 8 weeks. I'm good then. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Levi, let me
Well, you
ask
know
you.
what? Yes, sir.
Let me ask you. What is your like with the Johnson dogs? I see you're bringing them in, but you're not heavy on. So, what are your pros and cons when somebody wants to use a Johnson dog? Anybody's thinking about bringing one into the program. What are your pros and what are your cons on those lines?
Well, I can't speak on all Johnson dogs, but I think if you get the right type of Johnson dog and add it into the program, it could be some pluses. But at the end of the day, Mr. Ernest, we all know that you're gonna have some in the litter that's gonna be rocking, and some might, not be what you're looking for. So it all boils down to your pick. Sometimes if you take your time and pick your puppy and grow it out, and you win. Sometimes, we let the runt get past us, and that'd be the biggest thing in your yard, 26
Yeah,
inches
true
tall,
that.
130 pounds,
Yeah.
Yep.
be a hell of a dog. So it's just taking the time out, looking at your dogs, and finding a good pick. Because if you do the blood right, you can get pretty good. And me, myself, Mr. Ernest, I like the Johnson equation. I like to bring that in. I still like to mix up what I'm doing, and I won't be using my Johnson dogs all the time. I'm gonna get to a point where I get what I'm looking for and sit it, and then when I want to bring it in to kind of loosen some stuff up, bring it back up, then I'll do that. So
Un-
it's a patience thing. It's not gonna happen
Understood.
for me overnight. It's just take time.
True that.
You said that earlier. You said that earlier, like whenever
Hmm.
you came in the game and experience and stuff was expensive. because you're rushing into things. You know, that's one thing
Yes,
I
sir.
tell everybody that's in this. Like, yo, breeding a dog and producing and even building a dog. People try to come in this fast, 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 fast. Hurry up and do it. Do it. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, patience is the name of the game. If you can sit here and you can
Yes.
study, you can educate yourself, you can really see like, yo, study somebody else's program. See what they're doing, see like the ups and downs and the flaws and things that they go through, so you know not what to go through.
Hmm.
Because I was like you, Mr.
Yeah.
Levi, I came in this like, oh yeah, let me go and take this dog, breed this dog, yada yada yada, not knowing anything. So I really
Right.
think that's where people literally have like the whole issue and where the programs go wrong. But speaking of programs, so somebody said bring up her sister. His sister, what was that?
I think they were asking about that white dog. I don't know if this is her, Mr. Levi. I don't know if you can see her.
Was his sister?
Now he does have a sister. Her name is nope. That is no, that's Phoebe. That's the mother to the red dog I just bred. That's
Oh,
Triple
okay,
K's
okay.
Phoebe. But my
So
boy
who's the
Young Man has a sister. Her name is Jermiko. And Jermiko, she's a pretty nice dog. She's the mother of that young dog you and I was talking about, Sweet Lady. She's the
Oh
mother
yeah,
of
yeah,
Sweet
yeah.
Lady. Hmm.
So all
So
right. So she's
that
the mom of Sweet
she's
Lady.
the
I might
best.
be able to pull that up.
Yeah,
You
she's
say
the mother
so.
of Sweet Lady.
Let me see. Because I do have that pedigree. It's somewhere on hand. It's in our
What
messages.
color is she? Is she a brindle female?
Sweet Lady, yep, she's no, Jamiko is white, but she has like a brindle saddle on her back, white head. I sold her to a gentleman Ron. Uh, man, make sure I don't say that man's name wrong. 'Cause I have him under my phone as Jamiko. Call him. I have to, I got him under Jamiko, but I have to look and get his name. Rob. Rob. That's his name is Rob. Let me find his last name. But he has some Johnson dogs over
You,
there, and he got a
it's
nice
Triple
little
K Phoebe,
program
yeah.
going on as well. Triple K Phoebe. Yeah, that's the one that I got from Big Lou.
Is this?
Now, when he said asked of the sister, I didn't know if he was talking about a sister of which dog. Now
of
that is another
Um,
sister. That's another sister that I had. Uh, that female right there, man. I held on to her, but I never got any puppies out of her. So I ended up kind of moving her around.
I don't
But
know.
she's
It's
a nice little
foreign
female.
Brent.
mm,
Foreign. If you're still in here, which sister are you talking about? Bring up because that was Phoebe we
he was
just put up
asking
on
the
the screen.
sister
Yeah.
from he was asking the sister of this male.
Can you see that on the screen, Mr. Levi?
No, it takes a few seconds and then it'll pop up. Oh, you talk about sister her? That would be Jamiko. Yep,
Yeah.
Jamiko. You know what, man? I got pictures of Jamiko.
Yeah. If you can send us a picture, Jamiko, so we can see what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah. Who do I need?
He
Who do
did
I
it.
need to
Sorry.
send it to, Mister?
You
Send
could
it
send it to
to you. Can
Ernest.
send.
Ernest will send it to
Yeah,
me.
send it to me, and I can send it to
All right,
Dennis.
cool. Bet.
Yeah, I don't know, like if he's what he's wanting to see and what he wants to show us about that dog.
Yeah. Well, Jamiko was a pretty nice dog. I liked the Jamiko. She was a very pretty puppy, man, and she turned out to be a pretty decent dog. Like I said, I ended up breed her to Kwaku, and then I ended up letting her go.
Hey, side note, I'm just over looking at Gam with his headphones up there. Why you look like what's that Korean president? Like, yo,
I
Gam, is
heard
that your
some.
dogs over there barking?
That's what I was trying to hear if it was or not. Yeah, it was.
I think it is. They ready to
I
tear
was checking.
somebody up.
I was checking the camera like, what in the world is going on out there? About to eat somebody.
Mr. Levi, how big, how tall has the one of the Johnson's dogs you own? What's his height from the withers?
Man, I think Young Man is probably about 25 and a half, close to
Man.
26. He has some legs up on him. He's pretty tall dog. But the other dogs I have is about probably 24, 24 and a half. Uh, what's the name? Seki Cummins probably about 25 inches, but I hadn't scaled her in a good half a minute. She was 24 and a half, but she's grown a little bit. Her and young one is almost about the same size.
Mm. Here we have Malik. He's like Silent Creeper had them hitters. Malik is one of
Yeah, man,
old
you
school
know.
breeders back in the days. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some fun times, man. I bred some decent dogs. Man, my cousin, Ira, I ain't gonna say his last name. I've been untold on everybody. Well, my cousin Bay, me and him, we partnered up,
Job and
and
everybody silently.
yeah. Bay was cool peoples, man. And basically, I had this dog thing already running, and stud fees was costing $1,200, $1,200 a shot, and I eat that. Take me a little bit, but I'll eat it. But when I started hollering at my cousin, he's like, man, I won't do that with you. And so Bay came in, and it was super easy. I come up with six, he come up with six. We do a breed, we split puppies, and we keep it pushing. And so when me and
Nice.
him got together, that's when I started really making some different moves. Thompson had some excellent dogs back in the day, man. He had Thompson's Intimidator, Thompson's Kyoga, Thompson's Caesar. Caesar is off the Foss stuff. Intimidator was off of RCK Sampson, which actually produced Thompson's Kyoga. So it was a lot of nice dogs that he had, and Thompson was really fair. I had little problems with some guys in the area. It seemed like when I want to breed to their dog, hey man, I like your dog. What you charge? What you charge me to breed to him? Oh man, 2 grand. Oh, 2 grand. Okay, cool beans. But I seen one of my other homeboys over there. They get it for 1,200. They get it for $1,000. So people was kind of being funny, and that's what kind of
Yeah.
promoted the deal with the Tyson breeding. Is that it's other people had dogs, and I wanted to breed to some Tyson blood, and I don't know. I feel like it was hard for me to get breeders from different folks. So I ended up going to Jose, made a deal with him, ended up with some Tyson semen, and then get to breed them myself instead of having somebody else's bulk dog. I created my own sons and daughters of Tyson, and that was
Yeah.
fun for me. And people made me sit on those dogs for a while. I had a lot of haters going on at that time. People felt like my
Man,
prices was too high, and they kind of got together and decided that they wasn't gonna buy any puppies from me. So man, I sat on those puppies for about 3.5, almost 4 months. It was all good. I just had food and water. I bought a whole bunch of cages. I had them sitting out there in a row. And
There you
I
go.
had a gentleman, most wanted Bulldogs, call me up one day, and he was like, "Hey man, you still got those Tyson puppies?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, I want to get two." And so he ended up buying a male and a female, and he sent me my money. I packaged those dogs up. Most of the time, I try to send people a crate so they can have room to grow their dogs. So I sent him crate dog food, and I had him a little package set up, sent him his dog. And man, when he got those dogs home, that man actually helped me sell off the rest of my puppies because he had puppies the same age as my dog, and he had his puppies out, and he was showing everybody his pup. And then he tell his wife to show him the Tyson puppies. And man, when they pulled my dog out of the cage, I mean, they had to drag him out. It seemed like they just kept pulling dog and dog and dog. And man, once he got all that dog out with the big bones and stuff that they had, man, my phone
man.
blew up. And I didn't have any other problems. Me and my wife sold the rest of our puppies.
There you
Like
go.
So
that's
it
one
kind of
thing.
works out.
That's one thing I love. Like whenever I talk to you on the regular, and you have this recipe that many people fail to realize and even know. Because if it's not from where we started, how can we go
All
anywhere?
right.
And I
All right.
love that about you. I really do. And it's like we do it here, but you're
All right.
my
Yes,
safe
sir.
to where I'm going,
All
like
right.
in
Yes,
like
sir.
this whole thing. Because I even tell Dennis all the
Okay.
time, like, bro, Mr. Levi's opening my world, my boy. Because there's so much
Man.
that's like that. Whenever you said the other night when we were sitting there talking, you said, you know, we trying to get that second chance at where we came
Yes, sir.
from. And there's so much that you have in my opinion, Mr. Levi, you're not where
Yes,
you
sir.
want to go or where you want to be, but I can see where
Yes,
you're
sir.
going. And I applaud that. I love it. I love watching you grow, and I love watching the things that I brought to you, how they become so much
Yes,
better
sir.
dogs. Like if we don't, if not realizing like yo, what we have now, like in our dogs, what we have now, and what we're building, bring in that old
Hmm.
school blood. If you can get a hold of it, you can find it. You know somebody that got it, man. Bring that blood back in, man, because that stuff is like really, it's gonna save
It's
all of
some
our
good
programs and our dogs.
it's
You
good
just
stuff
say
out there.
it.
Like huh? Yeah,
You just
it's some good stuff out there, man. And like I say, I liked, it's feast day on. If you feel it, you'll understand. If you don't, then people just keep pushing. But I do think that each one of the bloodlines they offer something. I think the Johnson dogs offer something to the table, and I think it should be explored. I'm still exploring it for myself, and we'll figure it out as we go. Only time will tell.
Yeah, true
But I
that. No, no.
appreciate that, Mr. Ernest. I had a lot of good homies, man. My homeboy Dre, I've been talking with Dre for a long time over
Dre
the phone.
Worthies.
He's like no, not Dre Worthy.
Okay.
Man, Dre is from New Orleans, but I call him Big Dog. Big Dog Dre is what I call him. And man, this cat right here, now they used to have big bulldogs back in the day. And so I kind of go to him. He kind of like my semi OG to a certain extent. When I got some questions and want to add something on that, I'll holler at him. And then another gentleman that most of you guys might be familiar with is Vontae. Vontae, that's like my silent partner. My homeboy, he since I've been back in this time, he has been really helpful with me when it comes down to dealing with dogs. So, and he also has some of that old shooter blood. I don't know if y'all familiar with a dog called Horse. It's some old blood
Mm-mm.
from Baker's back in the day, and Vontae did some great breeders with that blood. Now he got a dog out there down there 28 inches, 30 inches tall,
Oh
big,
man.
huge dogs. And so,
Yeah, like
our
yo,
plan is what's
that's some
that?
of the Johnsons I remember. Like there was a dog. His name was Big Shoes. This lady out in Missouri had him, and he was about 28 and a
Okay,
half inches tall. Those are the Johnsons
mm,
I remember.
man.
Big bone and
Well,
everything.
one thing got one out there, man. I hate saying it because it's gonna be hard to believe, but man, that dog every bit of 30 inches. I mean, he's a monster. He a big dog.
Wow. Yeah.
He ended up with that dog. He ended up with that dog Phoebe, and he actually bred Phoebe to that dog and have some puppies. So he got that daily line bred into that old Baker shooter stuff, and it has a lot of good blood behind it, going back to daily, a lot of MGK. But he got some real old school blood. And once those two mingle together, he got puppies out there that are huge. So I think as time go on, when I start need to really put some serious size to it, then Vontae, he'll have what I need. So I think him and I will continue to do things as we move forward. But that's one of my road dogs. I want to make sure I mention that. And then I also have, quite a few young people that I burn with. A lot of times, man, I appreciate the young people hollering at me, Mr. Ernest. I bulldog talk with them. I talk with
I see. I think
I
you
talk.
you
Oh,
spoke with Mr. Foreign Brim a little bit of time ago.
yep, Foreign Brim. I talk to
Yeah,
Running
yeah, yeah.
Bulldogs from time to time. I talk to Rob. I like these young guys, man. These guys are like master chefs. I'm talking about master chefs. They have their own thing going on, and I respect that. Trying to create your own stuff is hard work. Nobody really gives us anything, so you have to kind of make your way. And sometimes, man, you have to be patient until your situation come right. And that's just,
Yeah.
that's just the ball game. But I'm encouraging those young guys, man, keep doing their thing.
Yep.
It's
You
out
brought
there
up
to
a
be done.
dog. You brought up a dog earlier that you wanted to build more on was that Thompson Caesar. I just sent a picture over. Is this the dog you're talking about right here? I don't know if you can see it up on your screen.
It, it take a second for it to pop on. That's Thompson season right there. Now, see, Thompson
So
Nice.
Caesar, man, a lot of people saw Thompson when he was young, but this is him when he was starting to mature. And as he got older, man, he really was a great dog, man. Mr. Thompson, I believe, sold him overseas. And so while he was here in Dallas, I got a chance to use him. And I wished I would have used Intimidator, but it seems, when Mr. T was doing it, If he got it on his yard, you better use it. If not, it's gonna go overseas, and man, they gonna lock it down. And they done some
Yeah.
wonders with the blood that they
Yeah,
received.
yeah.
And they bought a lot of dogs from this team. They done, and I'm telling you, man, overseas, man, they rocking when it comes down to Bulldogs. They kind of police their stuff a little bit better at times, it seems. So,
You know,
it
I
is
kind
what
of
it
feel the
is.
same way. They keep this stuff real on lock. They don't open up everything to
Yes, sir.
everybody like we do over here.
Yes, sir. No, they,
Like,
if like I say, man, to each their own. But I like the way the Johnson does a great job with how they police their program. Man, you can't
Yeah.
just run up there and say, "Hey, yo, this is this." Man, they gonna get at you. You got your Dixie
They
Lovers, you
want the
got your
pedigree. Yeah.
Yes, sir,
yeah,
MRT.
they want that
Man,
pedigree.
MRT is he. In my opinion, I like me some Dixie Lover, but MRT is very active. He's like
Yeah.
that young gun, in my opinion. I don't mean no disrespect to that man. I don't know his age, but the way he moved, that man came in, hit the dog show, champion out his dogs. I think he's doing his situation right. I wished I had the time to go about doing it that way, but I like the way homie is getting his thing in. His Johnson dogs, in my opinion, are pretty point. You can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong. And
Right.
I still think Dixie Luckman dogs, you can't really go wrong with it. It's a lot of great programs out there, man. You just got to choose what you like and build from it.
Well, you brought up
True that.
Mark Young
True that.
earlier. You brought up Mark Young up
Yeah,
earlier because Mark was in Tennessee,
yes,
correct?
sir.
Is he still breeding
Yes,
dogs?
sir.
He
I believe
still doing it?
so.
All right, I just ain't
Man, you
heard
know
from him
what?
in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what Mark's got going on. I can't speak his hand. I give him credit because when I was kind of needing to know more about the Johnson line, because I wasn't really familiar with the Johnson. I had my few picks, but talking to him, man, he was good about kind of helping me rejuvenate my mind, pointing me towards different things that I was looking for. Man, because he know those lines like the back of his hands, man. I'll tell you, dude was really sharp about that part. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
because
give him a lot of credit. Uh,
keep
Go
going.
ahead, Mr. Ernest.
I've been to his place a couple of times, and I've talked to him.
Mhm.
I picked his brain for a little bit. When I tell you that man would tell you ins and outs, ups and downs. Like he don't even got to look at
Yes,
nothing. He can
sir.
tell you the dog from the day it was born to
No,
the time it
no. I
like the day it was born
say,
all the way like generations down the line. You don't get too
see,
many
see.
too many knowledgeable people like that, like he is.
Yeah, he's so knowledgeable, man. He could even tell you something about the classic dog. Yeah, man, Iron
Yeah.
Man Tyson. Oh yeah, man, Iron Man Tyson was born in 1980 in the back of the yard of Mark Landers in the little shed over to the left side, 25 feet from the driveway. Okay, I'm outside. No.
Yeah.
But that's how sharp that man was when it came down to his Johnson dogs. He knew what he was talking about. So yeah, I give him credit on that.
What did
Yeah, I had
Foreign
a
just
whole
say?
bunch of people that
He's talking about overseas.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they tightened up a whole bunch of stuff over there.
Yeah.
they super tight. It's quite a few
Yeah.
kennels out there was kicking a lot of butt back in the day. Jose did a great job with kind of going down there doing shows and so forth, man. So they had him out there pretty often doing things. So they was doing it big overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking
And
about you
just
said
for the
Jose?
audience, when Mr. Levi says Jose, I'm assuming you're
Yeah,
assuming
my
Jose Lopez, man stopper.
Oh,
Lopez, man
yes,
stopper.
sir. Man stoppers, yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
Yeah.
sir.
hey! Rest in peace to our boy. He
Yeah.
did a lot.
Yeah,
He
most
did a
deaf.
whole lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
built a
yeah, man.
lot
He
off that
did.
King Caleb blood. Yeah, like there's a lot. Like
He did.
you guys get to these old school breeders, man. Old school breeders teach you a whole lot, boy. They teach you a whole lot.
True that.
I
Oh,
love.
man.
I got them all. I call them all up.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Levi,
Yeah.
and I know you mentioned a lot of old school dogs. Were you lucky enough to buy semen from them and freeze it, or you have any hidden gems that people don't know?
No, sir. I really don't. I had collected semen back in the day, man, and I called myself getting out. I collected a dog, which I had a dog, Kyoga at the time. I sold him to Jose. He called him Gallo, and so Gallo ended up having issues in the end, but that was a and Gallo. I collected him before he left. Then I had a dog called Birdman. I collected him. He came off of Thompson Caesar, bred to he was off Thompson Caesar, bred to a female I had named Ruby Red. I think
Yeah.
that was her name. I have to look it up. It's been so long. But he's a well-bred dog. And I ended up holding on to that semen for a while. And then, long story short, man, I got out of the Bulldogs for about maybe 11 years altogether. But about
So,
7, 8 in, I used to holler at, trading. I used to talk with him a lot, and me and Trey used to burn, just on GP. And one day I got to a point where, it was due for me to pay off my loan.
Mm.
Oh, we lost
I think,
Mr.
Mr.
Levi.
Levi,
Hopefully
I
he's
think that
back to
nah,
alcohol died. I think it's a perfect time. I'm trying to give up the sauce, my
nah.
boy.
Someone cut him off. They cut him off.
Yeah, right.
Nah,
Hey, the damn game was like,
yeah,
that's a gut. Because Dylan
nah.
out here
That's
about to sell everything out, boy.
hey, that's suspicious right there.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
suspicious. Yeah. I had to call AT&T like cut his shit off, boy. But
Damn.
hey,
Yeah, we'll
I
give him
guess
a few minutes see if he comes in. If not,
yeah.
guys,
We can
we'll
chop it
complete
up.
it to an
Hey,
hour. Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to keep it silent. Keep the silent creeper, my boy.
You said,
You know what I really like? It's he talked about a lot of old school stuff, a lot of old school blood.
A
But
lot
what
of
I'm
dogs
liking
have
is
that.
that there's a lot of breeders out there now that have a lot of old school blood just sitting, and they're
Yeah,
gonna start bringing it out. They're gonna start bringing it
yeah.
out. I just
yeah.
I just found out about a Caleb's son that they have frozen. The dog's
Ooh,
been dead I don't know how long,
really?
and they're gonna bring them out pretty soon. They're just looking for the right female, but I like that.
That's gonna
I
be a
think the
banger.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna,
So
like I'm just gonna say this right here, right now. Like, we got some old school stuff that's just tucked away, and it's just like, yo, man, we gotta do it. This is gonna be real. This is about to be some crazy breedings we got coming up in the next. I'll say like what 3 to 5 years. These
yeah,
things
That's
are gonna
gonna be
yeah.
be.
I
the
think
that's gonna be the thing in
the
the
breed
future.
needs it.
When
Yeah.
What'd you say, Dennis?
No, I said I think the breed needs it. Some of that old school stuff,
Yeah,
and kind of use it with the new stuff they're using. But I think it's gonna be a good blend. It's gonna be pretty some nice American
yeah.
bulldogs out there.
But but Gam, you was just saying something too. What'd you say?
yeah, it's good. It's gonna be a trip, like you said. You're bringing stuff out, right? People are gonna bring some stuff out. The dogs have been dead, so imagine like fast
Yeah,
forward, when you have it too, like dogs that they were using right now, like in the circuit,
yeah.
then a few
Like
years
from
later,
15 years ago, come back to the now. But
and
like,
then
even
people are
when you
gonna
do
be like,
Yeah.
that,
"What dog is that?"
yeah. Like even when
Yeah.
you do that, like when we pinpoint these dogs that we're bringing 12, 15 years to the now, hey, now those got to get collected. Like what Mr. Levi said earlier, like all these dogs of now, there would be people, these great dogs and everything. Hey man, collect them, throw them on ice because when we're dead and gone, people need them dogs.
Yeah, you don't
Because
think about that. You think about just right now. You don't think that far ahead.
Really,
oh
Malik,
man,
you got
really?
any
Yeah,
semen of that?
really. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got anything on ice, my boy?
I guess that was gonna be heavy. Stop,
Hey,
stop! Don't do it! Don't do
I,
Really
I don't
like,
believe
yo,
in coincidences. You
right?
know,
Ah,
yeah.
Yo, yeah,
yeah.
hey, we got to switch phones?
What's guys? I switch phones.
Yeah. You
It
tell us
seemed like
different clarity on this one.
it seemed
The
like the
tap.
other one started playing with me.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Okay.
We hear you
Yes.
perfectly.
Yes.
All right.
We just
Cool
don't want to hear
beans.
nothing Dennis about to ask you.
What was that?
We just don't want to hear nothing Dennis about to ask you.
All right. Well, what's up?
No,
I'm
no,
here
no.
for
The
it.
my question was just if there was any old school blood that you kept, on ice, or any dog in particular that you have, any hidden gems that people don't know. And that's what I was telling Ernest, that I feel that
Mm,
there's a lot of breeders now that have like old school blood tucked in, and they're ready to
They
bring it out.
they they do have it tucked. Now, what I will say, man, you have some SCB Bolo out there. You have Thompson Caesar. Mr. Thompson has that. He also has Thompson Kyoga. He also has Manstopper Iron Man Tyson. It's gonna probably be a hard pull to try to get it, but he does have those. So, but those are the only ones that I'm familiar with right now.
Ooh,
And it's another one
right.
out there.
Hey,
It's another one
Dennis,
out there.
can you pull up Iron Man Tyson for more? Because y'all ain't know that's like he's like basically like one of like a foundation dog that's in multiple pedigrees.
He is.
Like, yeah, and it's like big, like when me and you and I are talking, people bred Tyson to a Johnson, took the offspring back to a Johnson, and those
Mhm.
dogs hit.
Well,
Like those are
Tyson was nice in his day. OSB
yeah,
had a lot of it. You had a lot of different kennels rocking that Tyson blood. It was pretty nice. Jose at Man Stoppers had a nice supply of it. It was some nice dogs out there. It created some nice stuff.
let's see. Are you pulling
Now
them? Are you looking them up right now, Dennis?
I
Yeah,
say
I
with a
am.
lot of that I say with a lot of that old blood, Mr. Ernest, you have to kind of understand what that is because some of that stuff is kind of raw. If you put it into the wrong dog, different things can happen.
Yeah.
So you have to.
It's a good thing you brought that up because people are realizing, when we're talking about like when you say raw,
Hmm.
when we're talking about the dogs of the back in the day, they ain't
Hmm.
like they are now.
No,
Back in the
no.
day, them bad boys was on go.
Well, they could be on go, but then
Yeah,
also back in the day, a lot of people didn't pay attention to different structures and so forth. So
Yeah.
some of the nice dogs had
yeah,
the structure was kind of confrontational to somewhat extent. So you have to kind of know what you're breeding that blood into. If you got some straight females, you got to know what the flaws are in the dogs you're trying to use and be honest
there you
about it.
go.
And then that way you can address it. Yeah, that's Simon Tyson right
Yeah.
there.
That's that boy right there, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he's a solid
Yeah,
dog.
solid dog. Good
Solid dog.
foundational dog. If anybody can get that and bring it back, like that's a good pickup. If anybody can get that.
But Mr. Levi, you did man. You said a key point. Some of these bloods you got to know how to match it because now you get some crazy temperaments out there.
Well, you get crazy
Yeah,
temperaments and you'll get some crazy looking dogs, man. Some
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
those
that
dogs, depending on what you breed into, you'll frick around and have some Pinocchios on your hand, or
Yeah.
it's a lot of
mm,
different things that can happen. So if you're spending the money to purchase this expensive seedlings, you got to make sure that you put it into the right dogs.
yeah,
True
Preferably,
that.
if
because
you're gonna
yeah. No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, preferably if you're gonna do that, you want to make sure if you're gonna use it on your line, just make sure your stuff is piped. I wouldn't want to, and I did that in the past when I told you I was buying dogs from other people and I was running right to the ceiling. Eh, that's kind of a bad move because really you're promoting other people. If you're gonna spend that kind of money, promote yourself. Build you up a great line, and then get you some of that old blood, in my opinion. Put it to your stuff, and you push your stuff. I
right,
think
right, right,
that's the name of the game right there. Pushing your
True
own stuff.
that. Yep.
right. Like I agree. Like build a line and build a consistency in your program.
Yes,
Then
sir.
add a different ingredient, a spice in there, just to like heat things up a little bit.
Yep.
And that's the key. Like build your line, work your line, make sure they produce and stuff, and
Hmm.
have that consistent. Because if things go wrong, you don't blame nobody, just yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's still at the same time. That's where you got to be patient in it all. You
Hmm.
That's what
know,
it is.
you just like stay in house for if you get multiple dogs and everything. Stay in house, build your dogs, look how they grow. Like like when you had to hold on to those puppies for a minute. You produced dogs and you had to hold on to them, so you gave you the time to see what your line could do. And people
Yeah,
don't realize that, like, and that's one thing I love about. I do the same thing now. Because my oldie breeding, I tried to keep two, but I kept two close. But then I
mm-hmm.
ended up getting two back, and which gave me time to see how my lines would grow, the temperaments, the actions, to see if everything is still in line with each other. And because if you don't, you just throwing puppies left and right, and you're trying to keep one, you really can't gauge a whole litter like that. Oh, we lose them again?
No, I think he's there.
Mr.
So
Levi, can
Levi,
you hear?
Yeah, I'm here. But you sounded like a robot to me.
Yeah,
I
Uh-oh.
that
thought
means
my
your phone
internet.
dying.
I thought my
No,
internet was good.
but you know what, Mr. Levi, we're coming into our end either way. We're definitely gonna do part two with you because
Yeah.
we're gonna go
Uh,
more in depth and it'll be a little bit more spicy in there.
all right,
So
I'm trying to figure out. I can barely hear what you're saying. You robot over here on my.
I'll give him a call whenever we get done with this and let him know.
no,
Man,
for
I
sure,
love the
fella.
exit, boy.
Hey, it was a great one, Mr.
It was a
Levi. Hey
nice
guys,
one.
old school breeder here.
Bring it back.
Knowledge, anything you guys want to know, hit up Mr. Levi.
Hit him
He
up.
might
Hit
have
him
some
up.
hidden gems, and hey, who
He don't
knows?
mind. He got him. He got
There
him
you
left
go.
and
There
right.
you go.
Tell you.
I
Tell
think I'm
you.
gonna have
Where
to
you think
bounce
I'm
out of
saucing
this.
it
I
up from,
can't hear
boy?
you.
That's all good. We get there.
All right, gentlemen. We'll see you
All right,
next week.
fellas.
Good night.
Good night.